How's everybody doing? This is Fandromir, and we are going to work today on Book 3 of Volume 1 of Lord of the Rings Online. Yesterday, we just finished working on the Lone Lands in Book 2. We helped Radagast discover what's going on in the Lone Lands. We've temporarily defeated Ivar the Bloodhand, and we heard a lot of stuff about the Red Maid and things like that. So we are now. Oh, hold up. Okay, I might not have been audible. So we are now going to be working on Book 3. So Book 3 is kicked off by talking to Friedrich the Elder here. All right.
Could I speak with you a moment?
So he says, I received a message from a man, perhaps you know him. He is a ranger by the name of Candaith. The details are vague, but it seems of great importance that you talk to him. I believe it concerns the enemy movements in the North Downs. He is staying at a camp northwest of Weathertop. Travel west to the Forsaken Inn, then go north until you reach his campsite. So, we were at Candaith's camp yesterday, so we know exactly where that is. I also made sure that I got on-level gear and consumables, so that way today we could just rock out Book 3.
Greetings.
So, Candace's encampment. Alright, so here's our buddy Candace.
What do you need?
Estelden says word that you are to go there and meet with Halbarad. Please hurry, for the orc fires burn hot and strong, and each moment we waste is another opportunity for the enemy. So I've got to go all the way to Estelden, which is in the North Downs. So that's quite a trip. Just as an advanced word, and I will say this again before I sign off tonight, I might be on late tomorrow. I will try to be on at 8, but I have a retirement party for a good friend of mine and a mentor tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but yeah, I might be a little late in signing on tomorrow. But again, I'll say that before I leave tonight. There is the Forsaken Inn, which is a sad place, especially since they have such a giant hole in the roof. They probably would not pass very many health code standards.
Greetings.
Ugh. What? Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright. So we're gonna have to slow ride. So I hope everybody had a good Friday. I know I did. I was the only one at work, so I managed to get a lot of stuff done without very many distractions. So that's always nice. Still trying to see about creating a Discord. Seems like every time I go to open Discord, there's more updates. They keep telling me that they send me emails because either I need to reset my password or they don't recognize what I'm logging in on, but then I never get them. It's infuriating. Because I bet you this is like the only way to unlock a Discord. If anybody knows another way how to get into Discord, or how to have them unlock your Discord, or whatever the case is, please leave a comment or mention it in chat so I can hopefully try to get this taken care of, so that then I can go about creating a Discord channel. Now I need to go to West Bree. Alright, now I don't think I can get to the North Downs because I don't think I've found any of them yet. So I'm gonna have to ride myself all the way up and across to Estelden. been a long time for me since I've been in Bree town, the town of Bree. And it's been layered. Because there were just too many people there. There's people all over the place. There's Thornley's worksite. I wonder what it is that they plan on making there. There's a lot of big buildings. And there's Thornley's farm. I believe that's the Greenway Fort. Hold on a second. Yeah, I thought so. Yep. My champion quest tells me I have to kill the guy in here. He's usually back around the corner over here. No, maybe not that corner. Where are you? Whoop, and there's a bear. There you are. Morley the Fierce. Alright. One step closer to finishing that. Should be coming up on the town of Trestlebridge here soon. I remember when I heard that this game was coming out, I saw some concept art that was posted somewhere. I don't remember where I saw it. But the only thing that I really remember out of it is I remember those the evil shades, the ones that you find that I fought when I was in that instance with Radagast yesterday. And so I saw concept art for that, and then I also saw concept art for the bridge here in Trestlebridge.
How can I be of service?
Because it is a massive bridge. Look, you can see it from here. It is a massive covered trestle bridge. This town's been burned, it looks like. Like they've gone through some stuff. So I think the next place I'm going to stop is right here at Amon Wraith. Pick up that horse stable. That's part of it up there on top of the hill. Not that, but that. Bunch of hobbits being chased by a wolf. There's a lot of people riding around. I'm just excited, happy, and amazed at the amount of players running around. Because I believe now this server is up to level 100. I could be
How can
wrong.
I be of service?
Let me see, let me look it up. Current level cap of Peregrine server Lotro. Not interested in AI. Get out of here. Maybe this wiki will tell me. Am I not on a legendary server? I thought I was a... Hold on. I did think that this was a VIP world, but I could be completely mistaken about that. Let me just look that up. So, Lotro VIP servers. You know what? I think this is not a VIP server. Yeah, I think I was mistaken about that. So even if it's not a VIP server, that makes it even more amazing that there's people all over the place. I think the level cap on this then is 150, and it should be going up to 160 when they release the next update in December. But then that makes sense because my son has a character that we sometimes play. You know, he'll play on a different computer and we'll run around, do things together. And his character is on this server also. But he's on a free-to-play account. So how could he be on it? You know what? Yep. I've been an idiot all this time. Kept saying that this was a legendary server when it is not. I am on Peregrine, but it is not a legendary server. So that might be good news for Zuckmaster whenever he comes in. I always get confused on these roads here because there's all these better roads that run off in different locations to smaller things. I don't want it. I don't want them. I want this one. It gets so hot in this room that I'm sitting in. So I don't have a working fan, and it's the furthest room away from the air conditioning. And my computer puts off a lot of heat. So usually by the time I end stream, I'm like sweating pretty good. It's kind of disgusting, but yeah, it gets hot in here. I have a little box fan behind me, but I don't want to put it on because it's kind of loud. And while I don't think it would bother anybody sleeping, I don't want it to muffle my voice over the stream here. And if you sit long enough and you just look at the moon, you could see it moving. See it? Condensed time that is on a Lord of the Rings server. Imagine how crazy this game would be if it was actual distances with actual time. Oh, that would be nuts. Look at that dwarf with his armored pig. Alright, well, apparently I already have this place
do you
discovered,
need?
but I couldn't use it before. Alright, so now we gotta find Halbarad.
How can I be of service?
Word has spread about the help you have given the Rangers to the south. Here, in the northern lands, we need your help now more than ever.
Might I take a moment of your time?
While the eyes of Estelden have been turned to the east, news from west and south tells me that the enemy is moving on many fronts. I fear that the strength of Estelden is nearly spent, and alone we cannot face this greater threat. A council of the free peoples of the North Downs must be called, yet before I do so, I need more knowledge of this threat. I need to know if Fornost, once the capital of Arnor of old, has fallen under the sway of Angmar once more. If the enemy has taken and fortified the ruins of Fornost, we are in the gravest of dangers. Travel to Mincham, a ranger who camps on the fields of Fornost to the west, and ask for his aid. Alright, went all the way here just to go all the way back. Well, not all the way, but we have to go all the way back over here from here. Like I mentioned a couple streams ago, the constant back and forth and back and forth. That's why you deed as you go, because you're already spending so much time just bouncing back and forth that to then spend even more time completing deeds separately is a giant pain in the neck. But
Greetings.
now I can at least sit back and let this trail horse ride me to Amon Wraith. I have gone horseback riding a bunch of times. I actually really enjoy it. I've been on trail horses and I guess non-trail horses. I once had a girlfriend who did English style riding, dressage specifically. She had a stallion whose name was Toby, and he was a jerk. But I hear most stallions are. But big horse for a little girl, and yeah, she was actually, from what I observed, she was pretty good. She showed me that a lot of English style horseback riding is controlling the horse through your knees and thighs. Excuse me. And then my dad did a lot of Civil War reenacting, American Civil War reenacting in the cavalry. So he would horseback ride, and that was more of a Western style of horseback riding as I understand it. So he taught me that, and that's mostly controlling a horse through the reins and the heels. And if I'm wrong in any of this, please, anybody, feel free to correct me. I am not in any way, shape, or form an expert on most things that I talk about. But I like horseback riding both styles. But if I had to choose, I think the one I'm most comfortable with is Western. I've had a few lessons here and there, but I feel like it kind of comes naturally, at least to me. And I've gone horseback riding in Arizona, in the Monument Valley. That was nice in Arizona. The Dominican Republic, I've been horseback riding there. That was really nice. The Dominican guides there, they were okay with just letting me take this. They gave me a horse that wasn't as much of a trail horse as what everybody else got, so some of their horses, it didn't matter what you tried to do, the horse was not leaving that trail. But they gave me a horse that was a little bit more adventurous, I guess you could say. And several times they were like, yeah, just go, just gallop. That was a fun time. Mrs. Fandromir and myself went off and did that in Dominican Republic. We had a good time together. So I like horseback riding. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, because I was riding a trail horse before, who will not leave the trail. Some of the programming on those horses, though, is kind of weird and wonky. Like the pathing that they program into the horse is not really the best. It looked like they were just purely off of keyboard trying to ride this horse around, when I think if they had incorporated a mouse like I do, probably would have looked a lot smoother. Here we go. So Mincham, what have you got for me?
Shadow is on my spirit.
All you rangers, you all say the same things. The enemy retaking Fornost of old? Aye, from what I have seen here, I believe it most likely that they have. From this lonely camp I have seen the specters of the Oathbreakers stir, and fell spirits from Angmar take shape upon the fields. I have also seen orcs spilling out from the gates of Fornost, so yes, the enemy has indeed taken Fornost once more. What cannot be told is the strength of the enemy within the ruined city, and for that I shall need your help.
Will you hear my sorrows?
I cannot tell you the strength of the forces of Angmar within Fornost, for I did not see them approach. The orcs and wargs that guard the gates must have entered Fornost from the north. I fear the only way to know the true strength of the enemy within Fornost is to test the defenses erected at its gates by the orcs. I would do this myself, but my old injury prevents me from doing so. Yeah. Okay. It's like I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow to the knee. Sure, but you're walking around just fine, huh? If you are willing, go to the Norbury gates north of here, and slay what orcs and wargs you find. After you have done so, bring me a report of what you find. Alright. Mrs. Vandermeer got me a kind of a energy powder to add to my water, and it is lemonade, and it is very bitter. Well, I picked up this quest. I should probably just go do it and get it over with. Blood Eyes pack. Where is this blood eye? So, this is kind of like a warband, but not a warband. From, like, the Rohan expansion. It's weird. Because it has a warband symbol, but it doesn't give you any of the accoutrements that a warband in Rohan will give you, all the prizes and stuff. Anyway, well, that's done. Let's keep going. Now, I like the look of Fornost. I just think it's like the idea, the thought, you know, its layout. It's a giant maze, I get that, and that's, you know, for game purposes, but I think it would be pretty cool to have seen it before it fell. I believe this was like the final stand of the northern kingdoms. Was here at Fornost. And then right before it fell, the king escaped and made his way into Avendum and then up into Varakel. Oh, range guy. Get the range guys first. Alright. There's a lot of things I need to kill. 6 wards and 10 orcs. How did that ward get back there? How do I get out of here? Can I get out of here? Yeah, alright. Sometimes you get nervous when you get into those weird situations that you can't get back out. And then you have to type /stuck into the chat. You can almost be sure that orcs and or goblins are a deed in a given area. Sapphires. Alright, let's go back and talk to Mincham. if you're watching this video on YouTube, please go ahead and like, maybe subscribe if you want to. That way you'll know when I, post the next episode. Hopefully, especially if you turn on the bell click that bell to turn on notifications. If you're watching on Twitch, go ahead and give me a follow. And if you feel so inclined, give me a subscribe. I would appreciate it. I am still relatively new to this. I think this is my first full week of streaming. So, if you got any hints, tips, tricks, recommendations, I'm not too proud of an individual to be able to listen. You never know what you don't know, right? So.
I'm sorry. Did you need something?
It says, "You are truly of stout heart to face such beasts. You have my gratitude, Fanjamir. I only wish I could have done this myself, instead of sending you in my stead. But time and injury prevents me from wielding a sword, let alone drawing a bow. From what you tell me, Angmar did not merely send a token force to Fornost. Nay, it appears that they sent an army. Fornost has fallen once more to Angmar."
Will you hear my sorrows?
Let's look at that cloak. What does it look like? Nah. "So quick now, you must return to Halbarad and to Stelden and tell him what you have learned here. Angmar has taken Fornost once more. From such a fortified spot, Angmar could dominate all of the north. But there are even worse things to worry about. Tales tell of a great evil which inhabits the collapsed and ruined halls of Fornost. This evil could be called to serve Angmar. Go to Stelden and tell Halbarad all that you have learned here." Alright, back to Halbarad. Be like, "Hey, yeah, there's bad things going on back here. We're in a bad place." I guess I should just kill a whole bunch of Kraven now. Get this deed out of the way, this quest out of the way. Maybe gain a level out of it. I'm pretty close to dinging on the next level. Now, I understand that when I run around and try to shoot, I'm gonna miss. If anybody's sitting there wondering why I do that. The reason why I shoot, even though I know I'm gonna miss, is because A, if I was high enough level above them and they were like gray, I wouldn't miss, but B, it keeps them from continuing to walk away from me, which always drives me nuts. Like, they'll be doing their wandering around that mobs do, and then they'll start to walk away. And instead, it actually causes them to run towards me, which then gets me into combat even faster. Which I feel is what a true champion would do, or would want. To get into combat faster. Come on, there you go. But I try not to. Sometimes I just get into the habit and click away. But I try not to do that same thing to ranged enemies, and I let them aggro on me more naturally because I don't want to give them the ability to hurt me, injure me as I'm going towards them. And there we go. Level 27. So looking at my list here, there is nothing that can be crafted at level 27, or for level 27. Let me get back to the road. Alright. Back up to Amon-Raith, and then from there to Estelden again, using the trail horse. I think tomorrow I'm going to split my time between Mrs. Vandermeer's honeydew list and deeding, low-level questing, and stuff like that on here, just to try and round out this character a little bit more. Okay. Hold on, let me trying to see. Determination. Alright. Again, I use Lotro HQ because they've got a very nice website, easy to maneuver around, easy to understand, to read if you don't have the time or ability to figure it
How can I
out.
be of service?
We go to Estelden. So I'll bring it over onto the main screen here so you can see it. Right, so for example, this is Lotro HQ, right? So I just go to classes, champion, and in this case I'm a red champion, so I click that, and it shows me here, this is what they recommend is your trait tree. These are the virtues that they recommend. And then these are the ways of tricking out your legendary weapon that they recommend for both your main hand and your secondary or class item. So I think it's helpful, very helpful for me. Stat priorities, right? So if you find something with critical rating, that's the best, right? Then you look at things that have physical mastery, then finesse, then tactical or physical mitigations, and then vitality, right? And then a quick overview. You know, if I wanted to run, say, a blue champion, right? I just click that, and there's a whole separate list of things, right? So I think it's a very helpful website. Can really do a lot of good. We're almost to our 10 follower goal. Right? I did set a 10 follower goal, right? Hold on. Yes, a 10 follower goal. So we're just over halfway there, which is nice. 10 follower goal. Over half. You know. It's kind of hard to get discovered. You know, I'm battling against people that have established bases, you know, people that already watch them. It is what it is. I enjoy it. Alright, so I gotta run all the way over to Halbarad. Kind of like how open this is. You know, it makes you wonder, how has this place been kept a secret? How do they not know this is here?
How can I be of service?
I suppose we can be thankful that we are no longer as ignorant of the enemy's plans as once we were. Yet the question of how we will face this threat looms over us all. The peoples of the North Downs must be called together for a council to deal with this threat. There is much to do, and much I will ask of you in the days ahead, if you are a willing spirit. Alright,
Stay a moment.
so let's start with the first one. Book 3, Chapter 4, Part 1 of 3, A Call to Dwarves. We will need the might of the dwarves of Othrikar if we are to face the threat of Angmar. The dwarves there are good longbeards, but have long been put to task by the Dourhands. When the Dourhands showed their true loyalties, the Longbeards drove them out of Othrikar. Yet they are still hard pressed by the Dourhands, and only recently has one of Durin's folk from Erebor, named Dori, come to aid them. It will not be easy to convince them to lend their strength to the council, but you must try. Travel to Othrikar and speak with Dori. If you cannot find Dori for some reason, speak to a dwarf named Hanar. It is he who leads the Longbeards of Othrikar. Now, I'm curious about something. Yes, okay. I was right. Dori is one of Thorin's band from The Hobbit. If you saw the movie, the Hobbit movies, Dori was the one who was in the very first Hobbit movie, he tried to give Gandalf a mug of chamomile tea. So, yeah, I thought he was one of them. All right, so we're going to go talk to another. I mean, Halbarad himself is also in the books famous, because Halbarad was the. I mean, I guess spoiler alert, maybe. I at this point I don't think it really should be, but he's the one who carries the banner of the king of Aragorn during the battle on the fields of Pelennor, I believe. So, let's go to Othrikar and talk to Dori. Here we go. Okay, we're going... So you can
What can I do for you?
go to Othrakar if you've already found it. There is no fast horse to Othrakar. It's just a trail horse. But I tend to find that, especially if you need to do some deeding, get some deeds done, you should probably just ride there yourself. Because then you can cut all the corners out. I don't think these guys aren't a deed here, are they? No. And you can see some of the buildings of Othrakar up there. I wish my prospecting was up, because I'd definitely be going for some of this gold. It's funny, when you don't want it or can't get it, you find the good ore all over the place. But when you need it, it feels like you can never find it. Now I understand that's just a trick of the mind, but it definitely feels that way. Oh, real quick, I did want to take a quick moment. I learned today that Vodi Bakum died last night. I did want to take a moment and give my condolences to his family. He was a well-spoken pastor, Christian pastor who taught it, told it like it was. He didn't hide the word, whether you're a Christian or not. It's the world is a little bit lighter today. A little bit. By lighter, I mean, not as heavy, not as many people. We lost a good one. So, moment of silence, I guess, for him. Let me dismount. Oh, that's not right, key. There we go. Let me dismount. All right. Let me see. There, that was for you, Bodhi. Vodi, I mean Vodi Bakum. Anyway, moving on. Oh, those two are guys from the Gun to Bad Stuff.
Greetings.
Apparently he passed away last night. He was sick, I hear. I didn't really. There's been too much going on this month. This is my least favorite month of the year.
What do you want?
Too many bad things happened in my lifetime in this month. Anyway, so it says, you seek Dory. Alas, Dory has been captured by the Dour Hands. An envoy of the traitors just left and said that if we did not turn over the mines to them, Dory would be killed.
Will you help me?
A council of the free peoples? How could we give thought to a council with Dory gone? It was only with Dory's arrival and the hoard of gems he brought that hope began to creep back into our hearts. But Dory has been captured, the gems lost, and hope is stolen away. If those men, those rangers, wish to have the help of the dwarves of Othrakar, then Dory must be freed. You, if you are the ranger's envoy, must do this if you desire our presence at the council. Dory is likely being held in the Dourhand's camp to the west of Othrakar. Free Dory and escort him to safety. Once he is free, we will make our decision regarding this council of yours. It's suggested that I do it in a fellowship, which I will not. I haven't died yet. Knock on wood. So, I am now going to free Dory. What's the name of the place that they said he was at? It just says the west. Yeah, we'll learn the name in a minute. We'll be there in a second. Let's kill this Dourhand guy here. I like the updated skins that they gave the Dourhands. Because really they just kind of looked like angry or longbeards. Now they actually have their own aesthetic to them. Kind of like the stout axes. They have their own look to them. Whoop. Welcome to my chat, to my live stream. I'm working on book 3 of volume 1 of the Lord of the Rings Online. All the way back in the North Downs. If you are a long-time player, you probably haven't been here for a little while unless you have a lot of alts. And my plan, at least for now, is to continue pushing through these epic storylines as much as possible until I get to, I guess, the end. Until I get to where it is right now. So that's what I'm looking to do. We'll see how well I can do it. Am I missing something? Where is the entrance to this place? Do I have to... Oh, that's right. So one thing that definitely helps me out is that I have a gaming mouse from Razer. It's called a Razer Naga Trinity, and where my thumb is on the mouse, there's 12 additional buttons that I can then set up to like macros or whatever. So I have them set up so that button 1 is like pushing the control button, so then I can do control, like push that with my thumb and then press 1, and then I do that second tier, and then I can push 2, and that's like pressing the alt button, and then 1, and I could do that level, and then 3 is like pressing the shift button on my thumb. So I don't have to move my hand off of, essentially I keep them on buttons 1, my left hand on the keyboard on numbers 1, 2, and 3 when I'm not moving around. And I don't have to worry about finding and pressing control or alt or shift because I do that with my mouse hand. And then I have the number 4 on my mouse set up for shift 0, which is where I put my steed, so I can hop on my steed and quickly dismount without having to push the button or try to get my hand around all the way across to be able to do that. Right, so it's a lot faster. And then I have 5 and 6 set up for my 2 pots here. And I don't remember, oh, 7, I have this macro set up on 7, so that way I can, because if you leave the screen up for too long without doing anything, eventually Lord of the Rings Online will log you out. So I set up that one so it doesn't just log me out. And then 8 is, I don't remember what. And 9 is the same thing. I think they're just 8 and 9. 10 is my auto run, so I can push 10 on my thumb with the mouse and just auto run. I have 11 set up for the difference between walking and running. So if I feel like role playing and I don't want to run around everywhere, I could just walk. You know, so I can walk through cities and it doesn't look like anything crazy is going on. And then 12 I have set up for my equal button down here so I can do my ranged attack. So that way, again, I don't have to keep moving my hand in weird ways across the screen. I don't have to take the mouse and keep clicking these buttons. Now, so you'll see me do it sometimes, especially if I need one of these guys, because it's typically faster for me to click that than to look down and find the key on the keyboard. But yeah, it allows me to focus more on what I'm doing than having to stare at my keyboard all the time. I hate these dwarves that just throwing axes at you. Oh, there's a quest. Ooh, somebody's here. Somebody else is here. Oh, he's already got Dory. Oh, did I? He was back in the corner there, wasn't he? I don't know why I thought he was around the corner here. So this guy is a guardian here, and he's in a kinship called Heroes of the Rittermark. That's a pretty neat name. Now I gotta wait for this guy to finish this. I don't know why I just passed right by him. He was in that thing right there. Clear this guy's way a little bit, so I can get to doing this quest myself a little bit faster. I mean, look at that. There's a rich gold deposit right there. so angry. Every time Dory gets close, my health looks like it drops really low and it makes me nervous, but in actuality, it's going way up and it hasn't caught up. Alright, well, you're welcome, guy. You didn't need it, but you got it. You can still say thank you. Alright. Back to finding Dory. So now I gotta go all the way back in here. Fighting my way in again. I don't know why I thought he was around that corner where the gems are. Alright. Let me see something here. Alright, here we go. Oh, there he is. He just respawned inside his jail cart? I don't know what you would call that thing. If you're enjoying yourself, give a follow if you haven't. Let's see. Well, it's about time. Those dour hands took the hoard of gems I brought. We've got to get them back. Othrakar is depending on them. Come on now, before the dour hands get suspicious. Ooh, that's bitter. I hate it when they do that. They run away and then they run back. Okay, you don't have to go all the way back there. Come on. Here, that chest, they put the gems in there. Just a moment. Alright, I've got the gems. Let's be off. come on. What? Come on, why is it? Now I'm back in it. For some reason it wanted me to fight one of them. Come on. Let's go, Dory. Come on, almost gone, almost out. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, we got a captain. With our little entourage. A Herald, and I'm assuming a skirmish soldier. Yeah, those ones, the ones that heal, if you know which ones do that, and you can kill them first, yeah, that'll go a long way in helping you out. You know what, let's pop my dog out. Hi, Chase. Alright. Chase is on the case. Let's go. Let's go. Just gotta get through this town, and then that's this little camp, I mean, and that's pretty much it. Then we're clear. I wish the dog at least looked like it was fighting, even if it wasn't actually doing anything. Instead of just standing there, watching me get hit. How faithful of a dog are you? Alright, come on. At last, free of the dour hands. I can make it to Aragorn from here. Yeah, well, so can I. You have my thanks. Let's go together. You're not even going the right way. Kind of like going this weird roundabout way. Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can try to figure out which way he was trying to go. Maybe he was gonna scale this little mountain thing going on. Because that's the town there, but the only way to it from this angle is to go all the way around and come back up the trail that I came in on originally. Cheap followers, huh? Cheap followers on Streambo. Oh, nice. Let's see here. Let's ban you and report you for spam. Scam. Bot selling followers. Submit. Block this user. Close. Alright. Alright. Sorry about that. Hey Zuck, are you here? I think Twitch is telling me that you're here. But usually you announce yourself with a couple of let's goes, a forgone door, and something else.
What do you need?
You have done a great thing for the dwarves of Othokar this day. Dory arrived not long before you and is resting inside, but he told us of your valiant rescue. We are at your service. 648, 570.
Might you lend me an ear?
Before he retired, I told Dory of your message about the Council of Estelden. He recommended that we should go, and I agree with him. The dwarves shall lend their might to this council and free all of the North Downs from the clutches of the enemy. Go now and tell the rangers we shall come. It's an interesting commentary on,
How can I be of service?
you know, the way people think that even in the face of dangerous circumstances, they find it a hard time sometimes to really come together. You know? So it's like, you know, it's almost like when a couple of groups of people, you know, demonize each other, and maybe not in this case, you know, in Lord of the Rings Online, but they kind of segregate themselves away from each other, that they become suspicious of each other and self-serving when they don't realize that it would be more self-serving to work together with these other people, because then it would increase your own chance of survival. I don't understand why people can't think like that. You know, you know, I've got my group, you've got your group. I'll stay over here, you stay over there. Okay, great. And then a third party comes in, wipes out your group. Well, if we were working together, we might have been able to fend off that third party. But now that we weren't working together, that third party was able to wipe your group out. And now, it's easier to wipe my group out. It's that divide and conquer Julius Caesar strategy. Makes me wonder if that's, in a deep down way, what's causing all the civil strife going on right now. Alright. Chase, what are you bouncing around like that for? We're gonna have to restart you, buddy. There you go. There you go, that's better. Halbarad.
Greetings.
These are good tidings. With the dwarves aiding us, our chances of turning the tide against Angmar are that much greater. You have done very well this day, Fanjamir. Very well indeed. Why is my phone dinging like crazy? What is it telling me? It keeps telling me that my hearing aids are disconnected. I know that. I can't have these headset on and hearing aids in. Full disclosure, I have hearing aids. You spend as much time around explosions and stuff as I have, and you kind of need them.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Oh, I meant to look up let's see here. All right. To the south of Estelden there stands a small refuge of the elves. Many long years have the elves dwelt there. However, in recent days most of the elves left the glade. What is worse, I have heard that those few that remained were slain by stone trolls from the north. It is an irony that Gildor Inglorian, an elf lord of Rivendell, was coming to give word of the enemy's movements, but arrived too late to save those who remained. He should be called to the council, but I fear that he will be too consumed by the desire to protect both the glade and his people from their rage. It will be your task to go to Lingelaith and convince Gildor to come to the council. Alright, let's go down there and convince him. Lingelaith. Another interesting thing that I like about this game is that they, the creators really did their research. So all of these names, they didn't just pick a name that sounded elvish or, what dwarvish. They actually mean stuff. Don't ask me what, but there's a purpose behind it. A logic. And it appears that this book is rather short. I think it only goes to 7 chapters or thereabouts. Let me double check. Yes, chapter 7 is the last chapter in this book. That's pretty short. Compared to book 2 that had 16 chapters. Yeah, that's less than half, right? Where am I going? Wrong way. That's where I'm going. Yeah, about halfway there. Another thing I really like about this game is that it's not at all taxing on my system. considering that I might even be able to up the frame rate
Negovanen.
that is displayed to you, the viewer. Why is that blinking? Oh. Okay, it's because it's a quest. Alright, but we gotta go into that center building there. There he is, Gildor Inglorian.
What can I do for you?
Greetings. I wish I could extend to you a warmer welcome, but these are dark times for the elves. The shadow of the enemy has grown long, longer than perhaps any had thought, and the elves of Lingalaith have paid the price for their complacency.
Stay a moment.
The Council of Estelden, I wish that I could simply commit to such an endeavor, but it is not so simple. Many of my people are nearly overcome with grief and anger at what happened here, and the threats against Lingalaith are not yet dealt with. Our scouts tell me that the orcs in Nanwathren are planning to move against us soon. The scouts say that these orcs are being led by a great Uruk of Angmar named Durkord, who camps in the deepest parts of Nanwathren. Perhaps, if this Uruk were slain, Lingalaith would be protected enough for me to come to your council. It is a heavy burden, but I would task you with this, if you remain of stout heart. The Uruk is a mighty foe, and so you should not attempt to confront him on your own. If you must, then use the strength of this elf stone to find the strength to prevail from deep within yourself. Alright, Chase. Let's do this. Because we are going to try to go it alone. We are going to try to go it alone. Gotta go up here. What was that? Oh, it's a dog tag. Okay. Pick that up. Don't want that on the floor. Alright. So I can put this herbs thing, I can put that away. And I am at the like as many quests as I am allowed to get. Which means when I'm done with this book, I'm probably going to have to just go and clear my quest log by completing old quests. Because I have a lot from Breland. Might as well pick this guy as I'm here. Quiet chat today. Now I'm gonna have to fight my way in and then fight my way back out. Well, actually, no. That guy is on the same level as me. Let me see if I can zip in there, because I might be able to fellow with him. So we're not stepping on each other. Come on, bud. Alright. First fellowship on this character. Alright, so he is in fact doing book 3, chapter 5 like I am. So now that we're grouped, we are not going to be stepping on each other's toes. Alright. So we are here to kill this guy. This big orc way back here. Alright, here we go. Alright. Yep, I got you. You're gonna ride out, I guess I'll ride out too. That's a nice horse. Gotta make sure I ask him which one that is. See, things are a lot faster when you have other people to play with. The fishing one out of the loot box. I'm gonna have to look into that. Just want to make sure I stay debris. Yeah, all right. So that animation, by the way, of me falling and dying like that didn't come around until the release of Rohan and War horse. 4 horses. Before then, it wasn't a thing. Yeah, before that, you just, you know, the horse just disappeared under you and you continued running. You didn't have this fancy animation of falling over. And all that.
What can I do for
Says,
you?
you've done it. We heard the wails of the orcs from here. You have seen to the safety of Lingalaith, Vandermeer, and for this you have my thanks. Let's see, 354, 460, that one.
Mind my words,
With
traveler.
the Drukord slain, the threat of the orcs is lessened, and I am free to come to the Council of Stelden. You should bring word to Halbarad that we shall attend him, and that we will arrive soon. Your brave deeds may yet prove a strong foundation for our defenses. Alright. So, I'm thinking I'm going to fast travel. Not fast travel, but use the horse over here.
Greetings to you.
And look up Lotro fishing horse. Because as I said in previous streams, I love the horses in this game. So it's called the Steed of the Able Angler. By completing specific fishing related quests or by earning them through a festival's events like the Farmer's Fair. Well, that's an inappropriate picture. Let's see. Acquire a fishing mount. Special events. Keep an eye out for participate in events like the Farmer's Fair and complete related quests to earn tokens that can be used to barter for unique festival mounts such as the Steed of the Able Angler. Oh, when is the Farmer's Fair? I think previous dates. So it's usually in August. So it actually ended before I came back on here and started streaming. Dang. Well, gotta wait a year. There's a very good chance I'll still be plugging away at the epic at that point. Alright. Welcome, welcome. If you like Lord of the Rings, you want to watch me go through the epic, I plan to, as many days consecutively as possible, work through the epic storyline. I am now on book 3. Book 3, chapter 5 of volume 1 in the North Downs. If you like to catch up on previous books, including starting from the prologue, then book 1 and book 2, you can go to my YouTube page. I have all those streams uploaded there under the same
What can
name,
I do for you?
Fandromir. It says, the message you bear is joyous twice over. The Uruk Durakord is dead, and the elves have agreed to come to the council. You have done very well, for the might of the elves shall improve our lot all the more. You have my thanks for this. And then lastly, we
Would you
got
do
to
something
all
for
of
me?
those that have suffered in the North Downs. It's perhaps the people of Trestlebridge who have suffered the most. They have stood firm against all orc attacks, but their own numbers are dwindling. In fact, the mayor of the town, Lovell Boskins, was recently slain, and his daughter, Nellie, now leads the people there. I would ask you to go to Trestlebridge and speak to Nellie. We will need her help. We will need her leadership at the council. I will give you a word of warning. Although her people have the most to gain from coming, Nellie will be the hardest to convince. The constant attacks will block all thoughts of anything but dealing with the immediate threat, which, if we were to work together, I feel like a lot of the pressure could be taken off of her. And that's what I was mentioning before when I say I don't understand why people do that when they get overwhelmed. You should reach out. You should never close in. You know, have other people help you in shouldering these burdens. Alright, so on
What do you
to
need?
Trestlebridge we go. This is going to be a slow ride. I apologize for that. But yeah, if you want to go back and look at previous previous books, watch me slug my way through it, and sometimes not the most eloquent of ways, you're more than welcome to go on there. Like the videos, subscribe to me on YouTube, so if you missed the stream, you'll know when I've uploaded the next video. But I try to be on every day at 8 o'clock to work through the epic storyline of Lord of the Rings Online. It's got to be one of my favorite games ever made. I've been playing it since it came out in 2007, I believe it was. Let me look that up, double check that. I believe it was April 2007, Lotro original release. Yeah, April 24, 2007 was when it was released. I must have started playing like the day after, or maybe 2 days after its original release in 2007. And I'll maybe go away for several months. I think the longest I've stepped away from this game was like for a year, but I always end up coming back. I just enjoy it way too much. I love the story, I love the background, I love the people in the game. The environment of the people in this game is very helpful, very nice, very friendly for the most part. You get your bad apples no matter where you go. So if you feel like me, go ahead and head over to YouTube, follow my stuff there, watch me on Twitch here, follow me here if you like it. I try to be as personable as possible. I don't want to just do the raids. There's other channels. If that's what you're into, you can go there and watch those. I like the story. And I like going about it. So that's what I plan to do. I also plan to potentially start bringing other games into this. I play World of Tanks. I play Skyrim, Fallout, Fortnite. I play a lot of different games. Pretty much all of the Total Wars, from medieval Total War to the original medieval Total War, to Rome Total War, medieval 2 Total War, Rome 2 Total War, Empire Total War, and then the expansion for that was Napoleon, all the way to my favorite Total War, which was the Warhammer Total War. But that's my favorite probably because I'm a big Warhammer player. I've been playing that game since I was about 13 years old, and I'm 42 now, so It's been a long time. I've got thousands upon thousands of models. You know, I like to think I'm okay at painting. Maybe not the best at painting, but I'm okay at painting. Maybe on my YouTube channel I'll post up some of my finished models there. That means then I'd have to learn how to do some, at least semi-decent photography. But yeah, I'm big into Warhammer. I was thinking about actually, when I get enough followers or whatever, maybe getting a webcam to not only maybe put myself in these videos visually, but also, you know, do painting streams where, you know, it's like a let's chat kind of thing where, you know, I'll be painting models and talking about, you know, my concepts and stuff like that for that while just chatting with the, you know, the stream chat. So that's another possibility. You know, I have a lot of plans for what I'd like to do with this board, and as of right now, it's predominantly going to be Lord of the Rings Online, so drop a like, drop a follow. I plan to, if I can figure out how to get Discord to let me back in, because it doesn't trust where my computer is, but it's not sending me the let me trust you email. So I'm trying to figure that out, but once I get that figured out, I plan on putting together a Discord so that we can all get together and chat and, you know, maybe group up for, you know, quests as needed and do all of that. So kind of looking forward to it. And I went a little too far. I needed to go up here. All right.
What do you need?
So it says here, a council of Estelden. Have you taken leave of your senses, man? Are you unaware of the dangers facing this town? The constant attacks we must endure? These men in the east, if they truly cared about the threats facing Trestlebridge, they would help us here with these orcs. We would not have had to suffer as we have. We lost all those dear to us. No, I shall not come to this council, nor anything else, and I shall not be convinced otherwise. Now, if you have no other business, leave me to see to the defenses of this town. Okay. She was pretty adamant. So it looks like I am going to be heading back to Estelden.
What do you need?
So yeah, like I was saying, I plan on, yeah, nice, right, there we go, that sounds more like something I'd say. Yeah, so I plan on trying to put together a Discord so we can, you know, get together. You know, people are having trouble getting through a quest who can't find a fellowship, you know, and maybe their kinship, they don't want to leave their kinship, but their kinship isn't helping them out for one reason or another. Not to say that they have a bad kinship, but, you know, sometimes they get involved in their own things, like raiding and stuff like that. So, it gives us like a separate kinship kind of outside of Lord of the Rings Online, where we can get together and maybe help each other out. You know, post pictures, you know, tell jokes, whatever the case is, you know, just build community. That seems to be one of the things that's a problem these days amongst people, is that there's no community. So we got to build community, you know. And I feel like that's one way we can do it. And then as, you know, people like other games, maybe other games could then be streamed by me here. I was watching one of my good friends on Twitch here. His name is Delta the Viking. Let me just double check that. I would hate to get his name wrong. Yes. Okay, I got it right. Good. Phew. Yeah, if he ever hears this, he'd probably be like, "Wait, you couldn't remember that that was my name?" Yeah, Delta the Viking. Um, and he streams with his wife. Sometimes she streams separately. Her name is also, uh, well, it's not also Delta the Viking, but her name is Monklington. So go ahead, go over there, give them a follow. Um, Delta the Viking specifically right now is streaming a lot of No Man's Sky, which seems to be a very interesting science fiction based kind of game where you build ships and you fly them around and then you walk around on different alien planets. He gets his little deltas, his little girls involved in that where he hunts down and identifies different animals with them because they like to see the animals. So it's really nice. But he's a great guy. So I'm gonna chat him up and see about No Man's Sky, and then he has a Discord too, so he's got to know how to set one up. So maybe he can help me out with that. He's been helping me a lot with getting set up on streaming, so I really appreciate that. This Wexamos is great. I said it gives me time to ramble on stream. These long talks, these long horse rides. So yeah, so that's my plan. That's what I plan to put together. And maybe, like I said, maybe do some painting streams with Warhammer, and I've got a large Warhammer table set up downstairs and a couple of friends that like to play, so maybe I could set up a camera and play the game. Hey, Poutine, how you doing? Just chatting away as I ride this horse from Trestle Bridge to Estelden. Talking about Warhammer right now, if you know what that is, if you care. But yeah, so maybe that's another thing I could do. I'm still trying to feel myself around here, figure out what I like to do. I love playing this game, so this is what I look to do. Yeah, there you go. I agree. I like to sit there and watch. I don't see a lot of them working through the epic quests, so I like to work through the epic quests. So right now I'm on book 3 of volume 1. And I've been actually reading the quest dialogue because I've actually, even though I've been playing this game since originally released in 2007, I never actually read the dialogue. I just kept clicking, okay, what do I have to do? All right, keep on moving. It's actually a really interesting story. Yeah, champion, I like champions. It tends to be the character, the class that I play the most. So I've got something like 27 or so alts on this server. Peregrine is what I'm playing on. It is a great story. It is an amazing story, and I love how it's like parallel to the actual, story by Tolkien. So it doesn't override it in any way, shape, or form. It just parallels it. The biggest complaint anybody can have is, well, the dwarves in Moria. Okay, but it says that they, as far as I understand it, from what I can recall from the lore, yes, they don't take back over Moria until after everything happens. But there's nothing saying that they couldn't have a foothold, right? So, I just like how the stories parallel, and you're like the behind the scenes helper.
Greetings.
It says, good, you have returned. It does not surprise me that Nelly refused the call to the council, but that does not matter now. Word has arrived here that a large contingent of orcs is moving on Trestlebridge. The people there are strong folk, but I fear they are no match for the orcs and the chieftain who leads them. We must go to their aid. Finish now.
Would you do something for me?
Let me just tell this guy one sec. In the past, the orcs that have attacked have been of the Tarkrip tribe. The bloodlust of that tribe usually causes them to throw themselves heedlessly into battle without forethought. The orcs that now move on Trestle Bridge appear to be of the more powerful Ongbert's tribe. These warriors are stronger and more skilled. The townsfolk will not be able to stop them, and I would send a party of my men to aid them, but all my kin are dealing with matters in the east. You and I may reach them in time, however. You have done much already, but I would ask for your help in this battle. Gather what warriors you can and return to me. But make haste. Trestle Bridge does not have much time. All right, let's do this.
We must not delay.
Yeah, I mean, the creativity is just amazing in the amount of thought that they put into this town. Not town, but this story here.
Halbarad, Ranger of the North, gathers heroes to help defend Trestlebridge from the approaching onslaught.
The orcs are nearly upon the town. Come to me quickly. We must convince Miss Boskins of the threat that is nearly upon her. Follow me. Oh, and there she is, all girded up and ready for battle. Orcs of a kind unknown to you are about to attack your town. We have come to lend you what aid we can in the battle ahead. I see, so I refuse your call to council now this happens. I think we know how to deal with the orcs without your help. Why don't you return to your home? We will deal with this orc threat. But Miss Boskins. And then uprun somebody, I believe. Yeah, I just don't, like, this is not just like a story plot here. I see this kind of thing all the time, where people get overwhelmed and they think they're alone, and so therefore they make themselves alone, when that's exactly the opposite of what you need to do. You get yourself overwhelmed, you know, you're constantly struggling, you're constantly in a fight. That's when you need to reach out. You know, reach out to those who are next to you. You know, you'll find that you have more people next to you than you thought you did. You're probably not the only person going through these problems. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm only 3 away from my my goal. Alright, I'm gonna just post myself up right at the front here. Here they come. This guard, there he is. There's the big guy. So what class do you like to play as, Poteen? Do you prefer Poteen? Oh, Bowen? Just Bowen? What is it that you prefer? I am big on, you know, people's names. I must leave you now, though in return my companions though shall remain behind. In the event more trouble arises, I must have one final word with them, then leave. Alright, we have done well this day. I am indebted to you as well for your aid, as I fear the battle would have turned against the free peoples had you not been here. Yes, it would have. I must leave now, and I hope it is not too much to ask of you to stay behind. I would ask that you ensure that Trestlebridge remains safe through the night, then return to me in Estelden. This was a great victory, my friend. A great victory indeed. Looks like I'm gearing up for another
Elrond has healed Frodo of his Morgul wound.
long horse ride.
And now the time has come to decide the fate of the One Ring. I can see no other path than that which leads to Mount Doom. Who then shall defend Eriador against the shadow of Angmar?
Alright.
How can I be of service?
So I must apologize to you, for I fear my behavior towards you was nearly unforgivable. I see now that the constant orc attacks were nothing compared to what Angmar could bring to bear on this small town. You and the ranger Halbarad have risked your lives to save my people. I am in your debt. Alright, 524, 556. Let's go with that.
Might I take a moment
The
of
debt
your
I owe
time?
you and the Rangers cannot be repaid easily, but I hope to make a start of it by answering Halbarad's call to the Council. Whatever strength the men of Trestlebridge can lend to Halbarad's endeavors shall be his to command. Please go to Halbarad. Please go tell Halbarad that I will come to this Estelden as soon as I settle matters here. I am still responsible first to my people, but I see now that the free peoples of the North Downs must stand together if we are to remain free. Thank you, my friend. All right. So now another long horse ride.
What can I do for you?
I'm going to write this guy's name down so I can give him credit in my descriptions. W-E-X-A-M-O-S. Wexamos. Zuck? Zuck, are you there, Zuck? Gives me a chance to get Foundry started so my buddy can see if he can connect for when we start our new D&D campaign tomorrow. Oh, nice! D&D! That's another thing that could be done. Nice. It's been a long time since I have played D&D. What is it? Is it Dark Heresy? Is the 40k version? I've played the 40k roleplay game, Dark Heresy, more recently than D&D. I haven't played in 20 years. Wow, yeah, that's about 30 for me. And I haven't DM'd but twice maybe. It's going to be a learning experience. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him. Foundry. What is the what is that sounds familiar. What is Foundry? I'm going to look that up. Foundry. D&D Foundry. Virtual tabletop. Oh, yeah. Huh. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's neat. Nice. Um, if you're big on D&D and watching things work and understanding how it runs, the VLDL, Viva La Dirt League, I think is how you say it. They have a whole channel just dedicated to running a D&D game, and then they play through it in front of you, and then they have cutscenes where they act out what their characters are doing. They're hilarious, one, and two, it's very interesting in how they go about doing it. They have the main characters, then they have an all-female cast one. Both of them are just hilarious. They're both great. VLDL, Viva La Dirt League, on YouTube. VLDL. Wrath and Glory. Yes. Let me ask him if he watches them. It's a bunch of Australian they're either Australian or New Zealanders. I can't recall off the top of my head. Can I rear up on here? No. Have you ever seen the Cat a Good Barbarian cartoons? No, but they sound funny too. Now, I think... Do I go into there? No. I gotta go into here again. So don't watch it with my kids. LOL. Alright.
How can I be of service?
It is good to see you again. My thanks for your help in that battle. Without you and your companions, I would have surely fallen, as would Tressbridge. It is also good to know that Nellie Boskins will come to the council. She is a fine and strong woman, and I will welcome her and her people's presence in the conflict ahead.
Stay a moment.
While I await the arrival of those coming to the council, I must ask one final task of you. My chieftain, Aragorn, must be told of what has transpired here. I also would seek his counsel, as the position I find myself in is an unusual one. Aragorn has always been the one to lead, to organize, and to inspire. If only the matter he was seeing to was not of much greater importance, then he would be here. That cannot be helped, though. By now, Aragorn should have arrived at the refuge of Rivendell in the Trollshaws. It is a hard ride that awaits you, but word must be taken to Aragorn of these matters. Look for him in one of the guest rooms of Elrond's house. Now a ride to Rivendell. I think I am going to try to fast horse to Ostgaruth and ride from there. Oh, that's another Farmer's Fair horse. I have that on a different character. That horse with the apple baskets.
Greetings.
Let's see, Westbury.
What can I do for you?
Ooh, let me add him. Dang it. Add to friends list.
Greetings.
Alright, so now alright, now let's do this. Alright, let's do this ride. Right, because server time here is the same. Yes, it is. It's same as EST, Eastern Standard Time. So if I just keep riding hard, straight through, hopefully I can avoid a lot of the aggro and make it all the way to Rivendell. It's not like a dang chicken run. Those things drive me nuts. If anybody wants me to do a chicken run, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't like the one. Especially the one to Rivendell, because there's those lynxes or bobcats or whatever you want to call them that are stealth, and chickens do not have a good ability to detect them. And it's like one hit from those things and you're gone. So but looks like I'm going to catch up with Aragorn in Rivendell. Here's the last, was it the last bridge, right? That's what it's called, the last bridge. Obviously made by Angmar. I'm sorry, not Angmar. Arnor. Yeah, the last bridge. It's got Arnorian symbols. The star on here. That's very Arnorian. I'm gonna pick up this stable on my way through. Stable master. All right. The Troll Shores. This is one of the most disjointed zones. And they tried to do a zone revamp where they tried to streamline the quests. And I don't know, to me I feel like it's even more disjointed than it was. There's a lot of these quests that you can, you know, kill this deer and you'll get another quest, and then it's like, I don't know. I like to go to a person, they say, hey, do this of this. As long as it's not too much back and forth, I prefer that. Now I know that stone means that I get to, there's another steed back, or stable master back there. But that's right, I'm just gonna try to go right through. Yep. Because at this rate, it'll be close to 11 o'clock by the time I get there and I finish up. It'll be another 2.5, 3 hour stream done and under my belt. Poteen O'Bowen. Nice guy. And so is this Wexamos. And if Wexamos ever hears this, and I'm saying it right, you better like the video. If I'm saying it wrong, I'd appreciate it if you like the video anyway. But put in the comments, like, try to like phonetically spell it out, so that way I know how to say it. Because I am very particular about people's names. And I like to say names the right way. I had a student who was a Ukrainian-born student, and he had the most difficult name. It didn't look difficult to look at it, but there's certain ways that they pronounce certain things that is not natural to an English speaker to pronounce them that way. In most cases, like for example, a CH. When you hear CH, depending on where it is, it's either a hard K or a ch sound, right? I tried very hard to get that guy's name right. He was a good student, too. Very good student. A little brash, but a good student. But to my everlasting shame, before he left from my class, I never got his name right. And it's that kind of like, that attention to detail. And frankly, I feel it's a sign of respect to care to pronounce somebody else's name properly. So. And here we go. This is the more dangerous and hard part. You get these big bears that end up wandering around out here. The more hunters aren't bad. They give you a warning. Here's a bear. There's a bear. Hey, bear. Hey, bear. That's one of the funny things. I watch the show Alone, and I'm just started going back through it. The amount of times these people say, "Hey, bear." I mean, understandably. It's just, I think it just sounds silly. It makes complete sense why they do it. Don't get me wrong, but it sounds silly. But if I was in their situation, I'd say it too. Hey, bear. These are big bears too. Like, you see them in real life. What is it? Kodiak bears? Grizzlies? I know those are two different types of bears. What's the biggest bear? Biggest bear species? Hello. Hey, Markayan. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. If you prefer just Mark, that's fine. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. I'm just about to be done with Book 3 of Volume 1. I like to read through the storyline and everything, read it out loud, it's nice. I've never actually read them. I've been playing this game for a long time, never actually read them. So it's nice to actually read through the storyline. That's pretty much all I'm doing, is just the epics, going through that. But, you know, if you like what you see, you know, stick around, give a follow. You know, if you think there's ways that I can improve what's going on, or you have any other suggestions, I'm all ears. This is like my first full week of streaming, so I'm still new at this, trying to figure things out. So don't hesitate to let me know. Oh yeah, like I said, I've never really read them, so I'm reading them out loud because I'm sure there's other people that have never read them. So, you know, you read through them, and if somebody else is watching, they're playing in the background, they still get the story, you know? Because the writers, the creators of this game, especially back at this time, Turbine, they did a lot of hard work getting this right, in my opinion. So, I'm playing a champion. And I've got a guardian on fellow right now, though I'm pretty much going to be done here. There's a lot of reading here. Yeah, obviously there's parts that you can't, I mean, they're not going to bat 1,000 every time, but yeah, I hear you. I think that the way that they molded the story to fit, like the story in the game, to fit with the story that we all know and love, is very well done. Oh, Chase, where'd you go? Oh, there he is. There's my little Chase. Alright. So there he is. And there is my favorite character in the whole story. You want an epitome of a a tragic hero story, that would be Boromir. You know, he wants so badly to do the best thing for his people that he ends up letting that be a way for corruption to enter him, and then he ends up redeeming himself in the most lasting, memorable way. You know, that I've got a picture here that a good friend gave to me. You can't see me, I understand that, but I'm rolling over. It's a picture. It's called The Horn of Boromir by Matthew Stewart, and it's actually signed by him. And in the picture, you see a bunch of the Uruk-hai surrounding Boromir and a bunch of dead Uruk-hai on the ground, and there he is standing there blowing the horn of Gondor with Merry and Pippin kind of, behind him as he's protecting them. Full disclosure, I am a soldier, and I've been a soldier for 23 years. And if I can go out even half as bravely as he did, that would be the way. Anyway, I'm getting all misty now. Let's go to Aragorn here.
I thank you for this news.
Says, "Oh, that I could be there to aid in those matters, but it would seem my fate lies to the south and not the north. I will compose a message for Halbarad and ask Master Elrond if one of his elves could carry it to Estelden. You have done enough, and you have my thanks. For now, take what ease you can here in Rivendell." There we go. And then it moves on to more story, a momentous decision. And I think I've been going for about 2.5 hours. Hey, Zuck, you come in just as I'm about to leave. But yeah, Boromir is, he's definitely my favorite character. And it's amazing, like, and going back to, like, in the books alone, he's my favorite character. He wants so bad to do what's right for his people. And then the way he's portrayed in the movies, I think, was just magnificent. Obviously they can't bring in everything from the books, but I think, they brought in the parts that were the most important to his character. And Sean Bean, I didn't know who he was until I saw that movie. And I thought he did such a great job playing that character. The only thing that was not a perfect match, the only thing was the fact that Boromir would be more like we see him here on screen right in front of me. Darker haired and everything, and Sean Bean is a blonde guy, so but if that's the only thing, then that's like really grasping at straws to find something that you don't like about it. And I think he's just a great actor. And then I started noticing him in other things like National Treasure. He was the bad guy in the first National Treasure movie. If you've never seen it, yes, the acting was spot on. But if you, he was in a British television series called Sharp's Rifles. where he played Richard Sharp, who was in the Napoleonic Wars in Spain. He plays a British sharpshooter sergeant who gets promoted to be an officer. And if you know anything about the Napoleonic time, going from enlisted to officer ranks was like almost an impossible thing to do. And it portrays his struggle. And there's like something like, to this British show, there is something like 12, 13 episodes. Yeah. It's 12, 13 episodes at least. It's got to, and I'm probably underselling that. But it's just like typical British television. Each episode is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, something like that. So they're like their own little mini movies, right? It's like what we would call like a mini series, except it kept going and going. I think originally it was made for their Masterpiece Theater stuff a long time ago. So he did very good in that. And I just think he's a great actor. And the way he portrayed Boromir, going back to the reason why I'm even talking about him in the first place, was there were 3 parts in those movies, one in each movie, that really tugged at me emotionally. Boromir's sacrifice, the charge of I just forgot his name. Theoden's nephew. Why did I just forget his name? I hate how I have to wiki things and Google things as much now as I have. Éomer. Thank you. Éomer, in the second movie when he charged down the hill. But more so, the ride of Theoden out from the tower. And then it was more of just like an emotional relief when Éomer showed up. And then the charge of the Rohirrim at the Battle of Pelennor Field, that was the other part. So, all of those things where it's like, we know we're probably not going to survive, but we're going to do the right thing anyway. Those things kind of really just get to me, they move me. They make me want to be a better person, So, which is good because, I have kids and I want to portray a better person to them. I want them to be better than I was, growing up. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling now and getting all emotional, and I'm going to blame you, Mark. It's all your fault, Markayan. So, I'm going to call it here. If you like what you saw, I appreciate it. I would appreciate it if you gave me a follow, but it's completely up to you. I try to stream every day at 8 o'clock, working through the epics. So tomorrow, however, I might be a little bit later than I planned because I have a retirement party that I'm going to be going to at 5 Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully I'll be on in time. If not, I'll still be on, just maybe not right at 8 o'clock. So that's my plan. If you want to see the prologue through Book 2, they're on my YouTube channel already up there. Same name, Fandramir. You can go check it out there. You can see where I'm going. I do a lot of talking with Zuckmaster, who's my Quebec friend apparently now. I like the friends I'm making. So you can go check past videos out over there. Yeah, so that would be it for the night. I appreciate your coming by, and hopefully I'll see you again in the future.